It is 1477 and my total income is 163 ducats. And I wanted to make a beginner-friendly guide to show you guys how we got here. And this isn't my normal style, so let me know what you guys think. I'm trying to be a little more detailed and explain things in a way that is a bit more beginner-friendly than my normal videos. And I would appreciate any feedback on this, so I can know what you guys prefer to see. And if you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing. With that said, let's jump into the video. So let's start with our estates. We're going to do religious states, religious diplomats, and we'll do grant local resident to scholar. And this will let you pick the aggressive expansion impact scholar. That way you don't have to get the relations. You can just invite the scholar straight away. You don't have to do this. You could just go and, improve relations with, I believe it's Najd. No, it's Dowers here. Something like that. I also recommend freedom of interpretation. This is going to take your monthly PD down. And you can see our current PD is -20. If our PD goes down to -75, we can get manpower. If you get the events between legalism and mystic, I would generally select mystic, as the reward is much better. Although there is definitely benefits to having, say, like tech costs on the legalism side, but I think overall, the idea costs and the manpower button are just really strong. We'll grab the military privilege for the monthly military power, increase levies, and for the merchants, we're going to do patronage of the arts, and we'll go ahead and seize land. We can remove this modifier here if we want to kind of convert our provinces, so I recommend getting rid of that modifier, and then we can start actually converting our provinces. So we're going to hold off on the Diplo mana privilege until the end of the first war, and that's so that we can get crown land. For alliances, you really have a lot of options as the Ottomans. For example, you can ally to, say, France, Castile, England, Burgundy, Poland. You have tons of options. So for my alliances, I'm going to go ahead and pick France, and we're going to start improving with Poland. I'm going to go ahead and grab 10 Janissaries for our mission. We're just going to select that mission, or rather these two missions, and then we can go ahead and remove these Janissaries. We don't really need them, or we don't really have the manpower to support them either. I'd recommend removing our forts, well, most of them. I like to keep my fort in Jelebu, but the other forts are not really needed. Totally up to you guys if you want to keep the forts, though. If you feel like you need them, then keep them. If not, then not. For advisors, I recommend the half-off admin advisor. Grab any level 1 advisor for Diplo. I prefer Diplo Rep or Improve Relations if you can find it. So we're going to go ahead and assign our general to our first stack. With our second stack, just go ahead and recruit another general. And that you'll need to do that for this mission here. Of course, we're not recruiting a military advisor because we're waiting for a event, which gives us urban. We'll grab our rivals first. Let's rival Venice, the Mamluks, and Hungary. We'll wait for the 11th of December. We got the victory over the Violent Crusade. We can grab that. And that is a mission as well. So December 11th, let's go ahead and go to war. We'll make the war go Constantinople. If he does get allies, it's not a big deal. Now, what I would recommend doing during this war, I like to proclaim guarantee Wallachia. I don't know how to pronounce that. Is it Wallachia? I'm going to go with Wallachia. So proclaim guarantee on Wallachia, and then proclaim guarantee on Bosnia. And we're going to do this because if you notice, Hungary wants Bosnia's land, but doesn't want Serbia's land. So if we guarantee Bosnia, then we can actually declare on Serbia, then co-belligerate Bosnia later. That's the idea. The same thing with Wallachia. He'll ally to Herzegovina generally. He's already allied there, you can see. So we'll attack him and then co-belligerate Wallachia. That way those lands don't get taken up by other nations, because you want those lands for yourself. One thing I like to do is go ahead and just take the burger loans. And I could have done this a little bit earlier too. I like to check to see if I have a good merc for sieging. So just whatever we can find here. This is pretty average RNG. The best we have is a 2, but we can hire that. Still will help out a little bit. Sometimes you can get lucky and get a 3, 4, or even 5 or 6 if it's crazy. But normally like a 2 siege is all you're gonna get. But for this event, the siege engineer, just go and grab that, hire the advisor, and then go ahead and grab the guns of urban. We're gonna go ahead and build up our navy. I like to do 20 cogs and the rest galleys. So this is gonna be helpful for Venice. Go ahead and grab an admiral, and then we'll send him over here. This is a really weird and not ideal alliance the Empress is doing over here. It's fine. It's really weird RNG, but sometimes if you declare fast off an Empress, you won't have any allies. But we'll go ahead and deal with that. It's no big deal. Let's get these ships blockading. I like to just go ahead and barrage assault because I'm impatient, but totally up to you what you guys like to do. Select the top option here for we must annihilate all of Byzantium. I'm going to head down over to Carmen since Epirus has strangely decided to ally him. Let's go ahead and declare on Epirus. We can't co-belligerate, unfortunately, so the plan will probably be just to get Carmen out of the war as fast as possible. Likely easy way to do this will just be to barrage assault his capital. I'm a pretty big fan of barrage assaulting capitals, especially if they have no fort, just in general, since you are the Ottomans and have cannons. So that siege is over. And ideally we could just get him out of the war with white peace. And yes, we can. We do want to attack him, you know, soon, so we don't really want a long truce there. We wouldn't want to take money or anything like that. We don't really need to siege Athens because he's a subject, but it's more important I should be sieging Moria. I could go for a naval barrage here and just quickly assault that. We are focusing military at the moment, so we should feel comfortable to do that. We could also get our power projection up. I kind of forgot about this. If we want to send a scornful insult to one of our rivals, surely wouldn't be a bad call. Wait, did I not rival him? Oh, we have a truce. Totally forgot. Try that again, but with the Mamluks. There we go. Yeah, my leader died when he was, you know, 1 year into the campaign. I would definitely recommend scum saving that one. So I'm going to grab full annexation with Byzantium. Okay, so full annexation with Epirus now. We're not going to core up Constantinople, of course. We can use a mission to do that, which is to make Constantinople capital. We can also select Inter Galata, grab the mission City of World's Desire, and reign in Greece. And now we start the game with a lot of truces, so we can't actually attack, say, Serbia, Bosnia. The war that's usually what makes sense is either Jandar, Ramazan, or Dulkadir. If you get like the best RNG possible, it's like they'll be allied to each other in a three-way alliance. But that's, you know, that would be good RNG for sure. A lot of times Jandar will ally to like the Great Horde or something. So, but in this case, we may have the luck on our side, yeah. So we have like the optimal situation over here. Whatever the RNG is, you should be able to win the wars. They're not too difficult. Oh, I also meant to grab the privilege before the end of the war. The lower the crown land is, the more you'll get for taking the provinces. So I meant to do that before the end of the war, but I always forget. It's just a little way that you know, if you did it right, you should be able to stay above 10 crown land, but I didn't quite do it right. That's okay. Not really a huge deal. So I'm gonna get ready to go to this next war. There's also missions in our decisions that we can do for Mystic. Is it mysticism? I'm not really sure you say it. But we're gonna just go ahead and select those Mystic events. I'm gonna go ahead and go towards Jandar, and we're gonna co-belligerate Dulkadir into Ramazan. This is kind of optimal RNG. This might not happen exactly this way, but sometimes it does, and it's nice. It's not even like a huge deal. These guys are, like, a lot of times they'll be allied to, like, you know, Hissen, Kaffa, or Shirvan. Like, it doesn't really matter that much. But we can just continue to barrage like animals. And yeah, we're just gonna barrage assault like an animal. I got a mission done too. What did we do? Oh, the Crescent Fleet, right. The Free Admiral. These are all really nice. They don't have forts, so you literally can just go around and barrage assault everything. At some point, you'll need to kind of be careful with your points. Rather, you want to make sure you're not falling behind in military. But as long as you're not falling behind in military, I think that barraging is fine. You might not want to always assault, though. But if they have no forts, like in this case, I think it's totally a good call. But we are at a manpower pretty early. And a lot of times when early game, I actually will delete the second stack of guys because I don't really have the manpower to fund it, to have basically 2 armies. And I don't really need a second army. Like, I can just have my 1 stack of guys here with the cannons, and then the Merc group with the good siege guy. That's kind of like what I like to do. So when that's done, we can just go ahead and grab full annexation from all 3 nations, get a little bit of money, and that will give us a mission done, conquer the Beyliks. And we can start utilizing Aelits, which are our special subjects. They're kind of just like vassals that don't take up a slot, but they also don't fight in wars. They kind of just provide you manpower and money if you rein them in, which I like to do. And I'll show you that. So go ahead and just release Ramazan. I'm going to go ahead and release Dulkadir. And you can release Jandar if you want. However, you will lose 2 additional provinces since you already took their cores to begin with. So that's up to you. I usually don't release them, but I actually, you know, it's totally up to you if you want to. So you see this kind of promote to Aelit thing. You might have to improve relations to get there, but that's a-okay. Promote these guys. You'll want to rein in your Aelits. I don't really like to call them into war. You can call them into war, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend that. Rein in Aelit here. I'll send these guys a little gift here. 25 ducats should do. Just so I can promote them to an Aelit. I'm actually going to steal their land, so I want to make sure that I get them all Aelited up before I piss them off. But in the meantime, I'm going to declare war on Aequiunlo. Doesn't really matter what we make the war goal, because they're only 73% war score. Go ahead and just barrage and assault his capital. He has no fort. Then we can wipe up his army. Okay, we got the stack wipe. And we could just go for the quick carpet siege here, so I, split up our guys. That way he doesn't re-recruit anything. Yeah, so he should have managed to siege everything. And, he'll have no more guys to fight in the war. So we're just going to head straight for Agem's capital as soon as we can. We have to go through this fort here. Let's just get military access. I didn't realize we were trying to walk around the world. Probably is not advisable with my manpower, but you know what? Barrage assault Tim. Then I can just leave the war in peace. So yeah, just gonna barrage that, and then we can just barrage his capital. And that should allow us to peace out Agem. Maybe we can get war reps, a little bit of money, sure thing. We'll just grab full annexation and money. So I'm going ahead and seize land from our subject now that we're connected. But we are going to go ahead and release AQQ and Lu. Let's go ahead and A-lit him straight away. I could fight the Mamluks, but I don't have claims yet. So I'd rather just wait until I can kill Carmen for those claims. Well, I want to get the Golden Age started. And now that we got that Press on Two Continents done, all we need to do is upgrade these these trade centers here. I think I need to state that up still, but yes. Go ahead and upgrade the trade center and upgrade our capital's trade center. And that should allow us to Golden Age next month. When you get an event like this, you can just go ahead and debase because it lets you lower your corruption. You might as well. I would recommend looking for an Improved Relations Advisor when you can. It's going to be better to have. And I also forgot to ally to Poland. Let's go ahead and do that. I did improve those relations, however. What happened here? Did surrender of Mainz happen? Oh, he actually just surrendered it. That always makes for a pretty weak France when that happens. But I'm just going to kind of fish for an Improved Relations Advisor. I never like fishing for advisors, but it's pretty nice to have that. There we go, Improved Relations Advisor here. Let's see, we aren't guaranteeing 3 people. Okay, I can stop guaranteeing Ragusa. I don't mind if it gets taken by Venice. It's actually kind of ideal for us. Okay, so we're kind of just waiting for the kind of time to pass. We go ahead and turn off our maintenance during this time. Save up a bit of money. You can mothball forts, that type of thing. Go ahead and grab a flagship. I like the blockade impact on siege. I also like the movement speed on and off ships and the fleet morale. Though whatever you want to get is fine. It doesn't really matter. Pretty sure your navy will be good enough. We'll build like 5 more galleys. Might be a little overkill on that, but I guess better safe than sorry. For this mission, you can either grab like money and dev, or you can make people not mad. But I just usually like to grab the money and the dev. You can see our crown land's 13% now, so it's not too bad. We'll probably try to repay some of our loans. We still have 1 more loan, but that's totally fine. We're just kind of waiting for the time to pass at the moment. Grab Mill 4 here, and Diplo 4, grab the innovativeness, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and just attack Carmen first, just to let that AE cool down a little bit more, just to make sure we won't get any coalitions when we go into Europe. So let's do a quick war with Carmen. He has no allies, so it will not be very challenging. Of course, we are going to send that barrage assault. Okay, so that war's done. Full annexation. Get rid of this fort. We can probably concentrate development. I think we'll go for the Mamluks war first. Or rather, I guess we'll declare on Syria, technically. Go ahead and declare that war. We should have a better navy than him, so we can probably blockade his ports over here. Probably should be fine. And for the most part, we're not going to take any more provinces for ourselves. We'll probably use A-lits for the most part. Maybe a couple more, but generally I just like to, use the A-lits. They're really, really powerful. Kind of just pushing through these forts. We haven't really seen them show up yet. We got this event here. I don't love it, but of course loses stability. Being at 1 stab is ideal though. And my logic kind of is, if we're going to focus military like we are, then we might as well, be using the benefits. We don't have a ton of manpower, but yeah, And in this case, we have a pretty hefty fort here, and we're, probably not going to want to assault it. So just be careful when you're assaulting to make sure that you're not assaulting everything. But for the most part, you can assault. Pay attention for mountains, especially. So when we have this interaction here, we can cheese it. And that's totally up to you guys if you want to cheese it or not. To cheese it, you would just slacken. So we can go ahead and just slacken standards. We could do that. You can see it's 28,000 manpower. And for the sake of the guide, I'm not going to exploit in that way. I just wanted to show you guys the concept. I'm just going to go ahead and take the 10,000 manpower. There's no reason not to do it. I just don't want to teach you something that might be updated in the future. Doesn't really help you guys out if they patch that in the future, because I do believe it is an exploit. But we're going to chase this guy down. Of course, he's mill 4 now, so, we don't have an advantage, but we're kind of the Ottomans and we're just better. That's kind of just generally how the Ottomans work. Again, we're not going to assault this fort, we're just going to go ahead and barrage, but again, mountains are kind of dangerous if you're thinking about that. What I recommend doing, too, in the war is go ahead and just select these 5 provinces here in the war, and when you can get this, go ahead and take those demands. And again, I just always like to hit the mystic events. Do have a pretty nasty rebellion group here. 27k guys. And since we're busy at war, we can probably just go ahead and hire some mercs. I guess we should take a look at our professionalism. We could probably slacken first, but it's not really a huge deal. Like, yeah, we could slacken before you hire the mercenaries. I suppose that would be nice. I suppose we can do that. But ideally, we're probably just going to hire a mercenary company to deal with that. But I do want to kind of drain that professionalism and then be able to hire mercenaries. I don't really want them to siege Constantinople though, so we might just take the hit at some point. Go ahead and kill these guys at this fort. This is going to be really easy for us because it is, a defensive battle. Should be able to crush him there. Let's see where these 11,000 guys go. What kind of I'm trying to kill off those troops. Probably should have more guys for this war. So I'm just going to go ahead and hire the independent army. This will, of course, kill our professionalism. That's fine. I'm not too worried about it. I don't want Constantinople to get sieged down by rebels. And we could use a little bit of help in this war. So I'm just going to wait 1 more month for their morale. We'll probably go ahead and deal with those guys. Nasty bit of rebels there. Probably don't want to keep the company for too long because they're very expensive. A few months with these mercenaries is not going to be a problem. I'll probably send my cannons straight to the capital now. Okay, got the war goal now. We're just going to go for the forts in the war. That's generally a very quick way to, you know, win any war. Just kind of siege down the forts. And we're just going to use the stack to fight here. Honestly, I wouldn't even care if I lost this battle. These are mercenaries. I just want them to, you know, murder if we can. We're going to get rid of these mercs anyways, so it doesn't really matter. We have a naval battle here. Let's make sure we reinforce those ships. Of course, going to crush them. And we can definitely get our demands. And I'd recommend just ending the war as soon as you can get these 5 provinces here. Go ahead and do that. It's fine to me. So I can grab defeat the Mamluks. That will give us that invasion CB. Well, yeah, we'll just get rid of these mercenaries. We don't really need them. We can release Lebanon. There's some value in keeping Jerusalem. I think there's some sort of idea cost or something of that nature. So I think you want to hold on to Jerusalem. But as far as the other provinces, I think you can just go ahead and grant them away. So let's go ahead and declare war in Cyprus. We kind of want Cyprus, but this war is really just about resetting our truce with the Mamluks so that we can kill them sooner. So I'm just going to go ahead and barrage assault. You can see the garrison's already low from the last war. And we may need to get another fort down. We'll see. Yeah, they don't quite want to leave. Just going to recklessly barrage everything. Barrage assault. Is that enough? Not yet. They still want me to siege more, so I'll just go ahead and put the ships here so we can blockade the ports. Trying to get the Mamluks to leave as soon as possible. Shouldn't be long. Let's wipe peace with the Mamluks now. And we are going to go deal with Cyprus. I think who else is in the war? The Knights. Oh yeah, the Knights. Like, we're happy the Knights are in the war because they raid us all the time. And we're going to put a stop to that. So we can just go ahead and sail over to the Knights. Grab the Justified Wars here. Let's go ahead and end the war. Just grab colonization. The Knights will no longer be allowed to bully us. If we want to be min-max, we can wait to delete the fort until Devastation's gone. I probably shouldn't have sacked it. But, you know, the shiny button, the professionalism, couldn't be helped. But I got the mission done, Unify Anatolia. And we can grab a little bit of innovativeness. Mill 5. So we're going to go ahead and grab our tier 2, the Dev Shroom system. For these buffs, I like the first buff and the last buff. I don't really care to use this buff. You can. Like, it just doesn't seem that worth it, but I guess it's fine. If you want to click all the buttons because they're shiny, you should just, you know, click all the buttons because they're shiny. But for this war, I'm just going to make the war goal. Well, it doesn't really matter. What's his capital? We'll make the war goal his capital. Call in Poland. Co-belligerate Bosnia. I'm not going to co-belligerate Hungary. I just want to wipe peace Hungary really fast because I want to attack him as soon as possible. Probably could just go straight for Hungary. You know, I want that peace to be really fast because I want to, you know, subjugate him. I don't have any mill points. I can't barrage. I hate it here. Okay, so this event happens when you have the Holy City. I like to pick the bottom option for the idea cost. But yeah, I'm just trying to get Hungary out of the war really fast because, you know, he's annoyingly guaranteed. But I want to ALIT, like my future ALIT here is being rude. Having max prestige is also super important, just to mention you for the improved relations and the AE impact. Okay, so I should just be able to wipe peace Hungary, hopefully. And I don't want to take anything, not even money, because I want that truce to be as short as possible. I'm just going to make sure I route my corruption to the max. I kind of forgot about that. So I'm going to go ahead and grab admin 5. I could actually wait if I was being like min-max. Like, one thing you can do generally is you can talk to Florence and ask him for knowledge sharing. A lot of times he'll have it. He still doesn't have it, or yeah, they're already knowledge sharing with somebody else. But sometimes you can find somebody in Italy that will knowledge share with you. Like, here we go. We found Siena. We can ask him for knowledge sharing. And if you want to be min-max, you could like wait. I'm not going to, but it's something to consider. It's only 15% more for level 5, so I don't mind just doing that. A lot of times I'm a pretty big fan of just waiting at Diplo 4 and not getting it, and then getting ideas. Of course, we're going to be selecting influence as our first idea, and you can go ahead and just kind of dump those points in. I kind of just like focusing the idea group and kind of ignoring diplomatic as a whole. So go ahead and grab full annexation with Bosnia, Serbia. And then what I'm going to do is actually just release these guys immediately. So go ahead and just release Bosnia, and then release Serbia. And don't worry about the gold mine. I personally think gold mines are super overrated. You know, that's not really that important. I'd much rather be using those dev points to get through influence. So I'm going to promote Bosnia as an ALIT. Eventually we'll do the same with Serbia. Eventually being now. I'm going to recruit up some Janissaries now. They're pretty nice to have, especially if you're a barrage enjoyer because they barrage better. or rather the assault better. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab like 12 Janissaries, and then I'm going to swap them out of this army so that they can go, they'll go with my cannons essentially. Because they do have increased ability into assault, and you can see here assault affordability plus 50%. And I go ahead and get rid of the mercs. I don't really need them now. But yeah, we will lose a bit of money while those guys replenish. Janissaries are a bit more expensive than normal troops. Ooh, a mystic event, just what I wanted. And again, I'm just going to go ahead and grab that. If you were trying to get more manpower, you certainly could. But I feel like that is obviously a bit of an exploit. And the devastation here is gone, so we'll get rid of that fort. If you have diplomats free like this and you want to be efficient, you can start improving with electors in the HRE for an eventual dismantle. Might as well if your diplomats are doing nothing. Suppose I'll just go ahead and Ottoman invasion on those guys. The important part in this war is going directly for his capital. So I'm just going to go directly for his capital. Go ahead and just barrage assault. And then we can go ahead and, select, we'll get the collapse of the Mamluk Sultanate, and then we can hit the first option. Basically get them as an ALIT if we hold, if we have 90% war score in 3 years. So basically March 1463. Let's go ahead and do that. So the fall of the Mamluk Sultanate is here. And of course we are going to do, a sound plan. But before we do, we can cheese if we want. What do I mean by that? Well, we can definitely just take, 725 ducats first, and then hit a sound plan. And yeah, why not? You don't have to do that too if you feel like it's exploity, but, totally up to you guys. Just trying to show you all the little tips and tricks. We can grab the mission at any rate, subjugate the Mamluks, or subjugate Egypt. And now we're going to head over here. We can grab the institution, might as well. Mill 6 is here. Probably want to improve relations with your new subject that's probably not so loyal. It's good to kind of bounce back and forth if you kind of see what I'm doing. Like I'm going like a war over here, war over here. You're kind of spreading out your aggressive expansion. I'll just go quickly. Alit, Tunis. I was going to go into Europe, but this, this will be fast. Let's go and barrage assault Tunis. Tunis over here having all the forts. I have to barrage even more forts. I don't have the points right now. So yeah, we're just going to establish Alit, take some money. Very quick endeavor. I didn't really need to do this, but I was just kind of like, opportunity was up there. And I could go for the Alit of Morocco. I guess I'm here. Yeah, I could grab this mission here and get the CB on Morocco. I guess I will. He has literally 0 troops, so it's like, it would be stupid for me to not. I mean, I can't even barrage assault. What? Oh, he's being attacked by somebody else, I think. Thlomechan, yeah. Alright, Thlomechan. I didn't want to have to do this, but now you have to die. Because this is my subject. And I need to barrage him right now. Holy shit, he's got the peasant. What is happening over here, Morocco? I don't even, what kind of mess have you got yourselves in over here? He probably wants me to take him over at this point. He's better off, really. Go ahead and just ALIT this guy. Obviously, this is a very fast endeavor. Just kind of an afterthought, really. I don't really want to be at war with Thlomechan, but, what's another barrage at the end of the day? I'll just transfer subject at half cost. Just give him the quick barrage, assault, and then I gotta get out of here. Europe is calling to me. Yeah, I'm just gonna white piece this guy. And it's time that I got to Europe. I've been spending way too much time getting sidetracked, more or less. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get on my ships. We're gonna, of course, just attach to our guys. I'm gonna do that with A, if you guys didn't know. And then we will sail over. And we could probably pay our loans off. We might as well. Obviously, we are making quite a bit of money. Might as well grab the Defender of the Faith here. Which is, obviously, we have the money for it. We're not in debt anymore. And we are just making tons of money. And now we can go ahead and fight Venice. So I'm going to start building a claim with Genoa here. We'll go ahead and declare war on Herzegovia. And we're going to co-belligerate Wallachia. Even though we have him guaranteed, it doesn't matter. That's kind of the power of guarantee. So you can guarantee him, but we still have a way to kill him. And of course, I don't need to call in any of my allies or anything like that. I could reconquest. I suppose we might as well, and it'll be a little bit less AE. I'm going to take this war a bit slow since we're trying to get claims with Genoa. We're not going to barrage or assault. Go to the Defender of the Faith. We can, double convert, triple convert even. Okay, go ahead and rein in all those ALITs. Want to make sure that they all have, if you sort by the type, they all are reined in. Trying to finish up our influence ideas. And we can get Tech 6. Eventually we'll get to Tech 7 and I can get our next idea group. Yeah, we can build a couple buildings, just, whatever works. So go ahead and do a justified invasion on Genoa. There's some more free manpower here. We always love to get some free manpower. That's why Sunni is super powerful, I believe, just because the manpower buff there is out of this world. So it's going to be full annexation from both of these guys in this war. And of course I will release the new aylets to be added into the fold. I'm going to go promote those both straight away. So declare war on Genoa. It's going to be a Ottoman campaign. And we can call in both France and Poland, which is nice. And consolidate Venice. I guess France won't go because of that. Oh, actually I think we just can prepare for war. We don't even have enough relations. Let's, I guess we can insult Austria. And now we try that. So let's go ahead and to get a diplomat. We can just ask him to prepare for war. Ottoman campaign, call in Poland and France, and of course co-belligerate Venice. And the knights are back, and they have Malta, so I'm going to co-belligerate them as well. That's just like RNG, but it could be nice to get that province. War really shouldn't be hard. I have France and Poland to help me. This is a pulse event you can get from having influence. Pretty good RNG if you get this. It gives you a negative 20% E impact for 10 years, so we don't mind seeing that. Although, I don't want you to rely on this RNG, so I'm actually going to scum save it. So can I scum save that pulse event? Because I didn't want you to rely on getting, extra aggressive expansion. In fact, I thought it would have been a little bit, disingenuous to make a guide where I got really good RNG or something. I went ahead and just alt-F4'd that. Poland keeps stealing my sieges, so I can't barrage. I hate it. I just want a barrage, okay? I'm addicted. And we got this event that I wasn't even paying attention to and forgot about, but should have been. But we got lucky, and they decided to seek our protection, and we'll just go ahead and improve relations with them, and we'll let us help them, and that'll make them a subject. You can get this event guaranteed. You just have to actually do it through the mission tree. You gotta get 150 relations with them. But so now we're just gonna work on those relations, and then we'll be able to make him a aylet. Always gonna just check here every once in a while. Yeah, so you can rein in your aylets that you may have missed, and more money and manpower that way. So Venice is pretty much fully occupied here, and what I would recommend doing is you just want to make him release a bunch of nations, all these little OPMs that you can make him release. Really solid idea. What's really nice is that we can actually use Albania as a way to get back into war with Venice, which is super convenient. So we can basically just use Albania to reset the truce with Venice. So we can go ahead and just do that. Go ahead and reconquest. The main point in this war is really just to, get Venice to white peace, so that way you can war with him in, a little bit and finish him off. But we'll go ahead and just kind of get to his capital area, and we'll white peace him. Let's barrage assault on Venice. I don't mind that. And of course, that's just going to let us white peace Venice straight away. And that, that'll turn what was a 15-year truce into a 5-year truce. So that is going to be very handy. And I can start improving relations with our guys. We, of course, are going to make all of these released guys our new aylets pretty soon here. So we're just going to go ahead and separate piece the knights, grab Malta, and a little bit of cash. So Malta's a nice one, and obviously the Great Project is really valuable. We'll just white piece Lucca, get a short truce potentially. I could take money, but it's who cares really? And then of course I am just going to go ahead and establish aylet. Let's check the AE. No one really cares. We also got this really convenient event here that will allow us to upgrade our Great Project for cheaper. And that will come in handy if we want to upgrade Malta. We're just going to go ahead and aylet and maybe get money from Genoa. So we'll just go ahead and grab these. These are reconquests. These are our cores, so it's not very aggressive. And let's go ahead and start allying our new friends. They're not really our friends. We just want them to pay us. So yeah, we're just going to ally all these people. I'm just going to release Albania. They'll take an extra province that I had of theirs, but I don't really, don't really care. They'll be paying me much of their income, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and kind of go around, ally all these guys. So we will, of course, start vassalizing people here. We got admin 7, super ahead of time. I like to pick quality here if we want a very stable run. And the reason why is because they have a nice income from vassals when you complete this. But I would recommend getting Tech 7 first before we kind of focus on doing that. So for a minute, we are not going... We're going to have to hold off on doing those for just a little bit. But let's just go ahead and keep, trying to send gifts to these people that we had Venice release. We just want to befriend all of them, basically. Let's go through and gift, influence, improve relations if we have to. But just do whatever gets the job done. It's a really good way to basically get a bunch of land and not get any aggressive expansion. A little bit of a tedious thing sometimes to get all these guys reined in and stuff. We do need to grab one more province here. I'll just attack Ragusa. Well, I guess we can call in France just to make things easier. France is actually not doing that well though. Oh, we got this provincial government system. This one's going to make us pretty rich. I mean, we're already kind of rich, but this is going to be, you know. So yeah, this basically increases your income from vassals. So obviously, yeah, we can make 58 a month now. So now let's grab mill 7, and that means cannons. And of course, I'm going to build some cannons. And I make a lot of money. I might as well grab another stack of guys. Although I really like the Janissaries for their assault abilities. I like to do 1244 as my army stacks too. Basically, they're max Janissaries, so we can't really do any more of those. So I'm going to go ahead and force the Papal States to release some nations. So we're just going to make them release a bunch of people. We can release Provence. Go ahead and make them release a bunch of nations here. But I will take Ragusa. And more importantly, we can finally do our mission here, push into the north. And we can do this Subjugate the Romanians, which is a super powerful one. The reason it's so powerful because it gives you income from vassals for 25 years. 70 a month balance right now. You know, 65, 87 from vassals. So our economy is looking really nice. At this point, we probably should definitely have, you know, a little bit better advisors. And I think what's interesting is I can actually probably vassalize Provence and maybe force France to return those provinces. So we're just going to go ahead and declare the Ottoman campaign of pest, and Hungary will, you know, soon be added into the fold. And we're going to start getting through our idea group, of course. We can barrage here. We can, you know, now we're able to waste even more military points faster, so it's really convenient. And, you know, I do have extra money laying around, so might as well just upgrade, you know, start the upgrade of Malta. We still have, we have inflation, huh? Unbelievable. We'll get rid of that inflation. When you play this style, you just have no problems with your admin because you don't really have to core things. So, you know, you're kind of just able to reduce inflation or whatever you want to do like that. But go ahead and upgrade Malta. Pretty cheap. I mean, we don't need to spend our manpower to boost it. We can kind of just let it happen. I guess, yeah, I didn't know my truce is already over with them. I happen to be standing right here. So I think the only thing to do at a time like this is murder. And I probably could go ahead and just aillet Hungary and, you know, get some money. So I got this Annihilate Hungary mission done. Just makes him a nice core aillet so he's, you know, already reined in. He's not even disloyal at the moment, probably. Yeah, he's chill. He also pays me 11 ducats a month. Go ahead and fully annex Venice. And we can just go ahead and, you know, release Venice as a subject. And we will rein him in. Yeah, from here, you really could do whatever you want. Obviously, you know, by far the #1 great power. We're in an extremely strong starting position. We are making, you know, 163 a month, 1477. I think we'll call it there for this guide. I wanted to keep it simple. Kind of a beginner-friendly way to just have a really strong start with the Ottomans without doing any exploits, without, you know, having to switch a religion or anything crazy like that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But as always, thanks for watching and have a great one.